a platform for us to be able to share on how best we can bridge the media as the catalyst for national economic development as we discuss about the media policy. This is the first integrated media policy in Zimbabwe, supported obviously by legislation including the Broadcasting Services Act, the Freedom of Information Act, the Cyber and Data Protection Act, the Postal and Telecommunications Act, and many other pieces of legislation in order to support the democratic discourse that we have. But as we discuss, as we deliberate with legislators, commissioners, experts from various fields, and also developmental partners, as we work together, our common goal is one vision: to achieve an upper middle income society by the year 2030. The new media policy is very clear in terms of the objectives and its pillars and its principles, that the media sector has a responsibility, a shared responsibility to defend the image of Zimbabwe, to promote Zimbabwe as a country, to promote investment, tourism, media diversity, and strengthening and consolidating in terms of the democratic discourse that currently exists in our country, but also in alignment with Section 61 and Section 62 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, which speaks to the freedom of expression, which speaks to the freedom of the media and access to information. This is then supported by the Freedom of Information Act. The policy is very clear goals in terms of the pillars that support the Zimbabwe media policy. Local content generation, talent management and human capital development, media sovereignty, access to information, the digitalization, the utilization of technology, the utilization of artificial intelligence, the utilization of information science. All these clear pillars are very more than euphoric to indicate that we have achieved in terms of the digitalization of the media sector. And that our goal as government is to ensure that we leave no one and no place behind as we journey towards an upper middle income society. But for us to be able to achieve an upper middle income society, what is the role of the media? Is the media going to support an upper middle income society? Is the media going to support foreign direct investment in our country? Is the media going to help government in terms of our zero tolerance to corruption in order to uproot a number of cases related to embezzlement and fraud? What is the role of the media in order to promote Zimbabwe's products and services across the globe? We've all witnessed the success stories related to the growth of our economy. And the growth of our economy has also been revised by the IMF, indicating a positive trajectory in terms of macroeconomic growth. In terms of our success story as a country, we've even revised the construction sector in terms of housing, and now we have a target of 1 million housing units. But how do we achieve all this as we bridge and utilize the media as the catalyst that is going to drive socio-economic growth in our country? These are the questions that you should be able to discuss, to deliberate upon, and make decisions as we journey towards an upper middle income society by the year 2030. The role of the media should be expanded to include mainly development journalism. Media on its own cannot be regarded as an external aspect in terms of national economic development, but as one of the ingredients that is going to fuel our Vision 2030. How do we utilize the media in order to support agriculture, which has recorded a total transformation in terms of food and nutrition security in our country? From a total of less than 100,000 metric tons of wheat to more than 600,000 metric tons of wheat. But then how do we bridge industry to the farmers and to the export markets? This is also the role of the media. But of great importance is what we are working on, and we are also very comfortable working with the entirety of the media sector. For us, as we amend the Zimbabwe Media Commission Act and the Media Practitioners Bill, which is undergoing a lot of drafting at the moment. But how do we bring on board the ethics, the ethos, for us to be able to protect a sustainable media industry? But in the matrix of the media industry, what we have to be able to calculate is if the media paints a picture of gloom and catastrophe, a picture of doom and catastrophe, how does this help the nation? Does it help the media industry, or it destroys the media industry? Because each and everyone has a role to play in terms of Vision 2030. This is a collective responsibility. For example, if the media destroys industry, agriculture, and mining, the same will also take place in terms of the purchasing power, in terms of the disposable income for the particular people in the particular jurisdiction, and in the process destroy also the media industry. So it is the responsibility of the media to be able to work together collectively to shape the correct narrative, disseminating facts, disseminating balanced stories, disseminating in our local languages. For our local content strategy also speaks to the 16 recognized languages. We need to preserve our languages as a people. For in the next 50 years, if we do not contribute to the national indigenous languages discourse, we might end up losing most of our own indigenous languages. But also, how do we contribute to the digital ecosystem as we journey towards an upper middle income society? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, comrades, and friends, it is the role of the media to work together with central government as the mirror of the society. It is important for the media as the barometer in terms of macroeconomic growth, in terms of tackling the negative vices within our societies. Under the leadership of President D.G. Mnangagwa, we've registered a lot of success. The expansion and liberalization in terms of the licensing framework, this is precisely why we now have private sector players, both on television, radio, and in terms of the print media and online media houses across, contributing to the national discourse of our country, but also with a clear purpose in terms of defending Zimbabwe's media space, in terms of defending Zimbabwe's sovereignty and the right to self-determination. For us to be able to achieve an upper middle income society, it is the responsibility of each and every media house to be able to uproot the vices, to raise awareness on critical issues, to fight corruption, to hold the executive accountable, but also to contribute towards national economic development in our country. With the coming on board of artificial intelligence, information science, and many other new cutting-edge technologies, we need to be able to defend the media space that currently exists. But we can only defend and develop our country if we have a responsible media that is constitutional, with a responsible media that will be able to inform the world about what is taking place in our country.